Hey, Shalom, Kahala Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the Great Millstone. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives to do so. To the scattered hopeful elect across the four corners of the earth, and those among the heathen nations that look like the heathen nations pursuant to Jeremiah 12:9, known as the speckled birds. This is not a so-called black thing, nor do we not teach that the Hebrew Israelites are only black. And within that doctrine, there are some that come who look like the other heathen nations, known as speckled birds. Okay, so with that said, I am the disciple of Parium, a follower of Great Millstone, coming to you with a lesson in truth and sincerity. And this is the importance of a tribe. And this is kind of, kind of a part two, if you will, on a lesson that I did a while back regarding, the not trying to be a lone wolf. Okay. So with that, this is a video in fair use. This is a video from, I believe, the Doughboy Nation or something like that on TikTok. And, he says some really good things at the beginning. And obviously, he goes into the whole Christian dogma towards the end. So obviously, chew the meat and spit out the bones. But it goes into the importance of a tribe. So let's kind of back up and listen to what he has to say. I don't know what I just did right there. Just give me a second. There it goes.
One he's born into, the one he creates with his woman, and the brothers he chooses to walk through this life.
So at the beginning, he says every man has three families. One that his brothers that he's born into, one with his woman, and then one through the walk of his life. So let me see if I can rewind that real quick.
With most men are missing the last one, and it shows. Look, your parents can love you, but they're not in your fight. Your wife, she loves you, but she doesn't understand.
So with that, I want to get our first scripture. This is Galatians 6, going to 5 through 7. And it says, "For every man shall bear his own burden. Let him that is taught in the word of communicate unto him that teacheth in all good things." It says, "Be not deceived, power is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he reap." Okay, so we're taught by elders who go out and do the work and will of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, just as they said in the book of Matthew when Yahweh Shai's parents and his brother siblings came, hey, they're trying to do this big announcement, but he said, no, these are my families, my brother and my sisters, that go out and do the will and work of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay. I'm just roughly paraphrasing.
Understand what it's like to carry the weight of being a man every day. You step out your front door, going out into the world, and you're under attack. Everything you're trying to build, your family, your resources, your health, your faith, your sanity, it's eroding around you. And your job, provide and protect. That's the assignment. Now here's the trap. If you unload that stress at home, you don't bring peace, you destroy it.
So, we have to be able to accept discipline, right? So let's go to Lamentations. Chapter 3, starting in verse 25. It says, "The Lord Yahweh is good unto them that wait for him, to the soul that seeketh him." I'm going to read in NLT verse 26. "So it is good to wait quietly for salvation from the Lord Yahweh. And it is good for people to submit at an early age to the yoke of his discipline." All right. And so, that's what we do, especially the men of Great Millstone, those men that are under them, just they submit to discipline early. They're quick to hear and slow to speak. Okay, so they're getting knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And he was going to, in a sense, sharing the burden. Let's go to Galatians chapter 6. Verse 2. It says, "Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Hamashiach." And I want to go to Galatians 5, 13 to 14. It says, "For brethren, ye have been called into liberty. Only use not liberty for an occasion to the flesh, but by love serve one another." Verse 14 says, For all the law is fulfilled in one word, even in this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. And we know that goes into Leviticus 19, that neighbor being Ra'ai. We can get it real quick. You see where it says Leviticus 19:18, we go into that word neighbor, and it goes into the word Ra'ai. Right? And then right here is the root word, Ra'ai, and that's Strong 7462, and that goes into of teachers, of rulers, of people as flock. All right. It says of idolater Israel as a flock. Okay, so that's what I was trying to get into right there. And let's go to Micah 5:3. And it reads, "Therefore will he give them up until the time that she shall travaileth hath brought forth. Then the remnant of his brethren shall return unto the children of Israel." So going to that word Ra'ai. Okay.
Your wife stops feeling safe and your kids stop seeing you as strong. But if you bottle it up, it eats you alive. And you end up walking through life like a ghost, waiting to die. That's...
So you talk about, not bringing the troubles of this world unto your family, and to put these burdens on them, and not venting out onto them. I mean, you might vent about some other minor things, but as far as those kind of things that garner, what a tribe is going to be able to offer, then you have to go on to, strong men of the Lord, all right, and seek that, share that burden amongst them. Okay, so we're being under attack. You want to avoid excessive burdens. Essentially avoiding the behavior of the Pharisees. True responsibility, lifts burdens, and it doesn't add on to them. All right, so let's go to Matthew. It's lucky, it's kind of hard. Let's go right here. Matthew chapter 23. verses 3 through 8. It says, all therefore, whatsoever they bid you observe and let me read from the top. All therefore, whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do, but do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. So it says basically in the NLT, it says they so practice and obey whatsoever they tell you, but don't follow their examples, for they don't practice what they teach. And it says they crush people with unbearable religious demands and never lift a finger to ease the burden. It says everything they do is for show. It kind of reminds me of that skit with what's that fat comedian Drewski. It says of their arms they wear extra wide prayer boxes with scriptures going into the phylacteries and the scriptures and verses inside, and they wear robes with extra long tassels. And they love to sit in the head tables at banquets and in the seats of honors in the synagogues. They love to receive respectful greetings as they walk in the marketplaces and to be called rabbi. Verse 8, don't let anyone call you rabbi, for you have only one teacher, and all of you are equal as brothers and sisters. So, we are to observe and do, according to our one true teacher, right? Not these other people, right? Who basically just all they do is, they're while you're being on their attack, you have to avoid these excessive burdens. And he was talking about not to unload stress to the wives at home. 1 Peter 3 and 7. Let me type that in real quick. You know what? Let me open this up in a different app. Actually, here we go. So this is 1 Peter 3 and 7. I want to get some of the commentary that's in this app. It says, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. All right? And that word honor goes into Strong's G 5092, and is timai or timei, where essentially that's kind of, if you think about it, where the word time comes from. So when you give time onto something, it's you're giving reverence or honor. Okay. But also with time comes patience, and patience and suffering. So it's all interlinked. But it says, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them. Let's see. Let's read into this. Here it says, there it is. Giving honor unto the wife, using your superior strength and experience in her behalf, and thus honoring her by becoming her protector and supporter. But the word time, honor, signifies maintenance as well as respect. Maintain, provide for a wife. And and if it's to maintain, there's something to be said with that, because essentially, when you maintain something, it's like you kind of have possession of something. You can't maintain something that you don't have possession of. Be that, what you think about that. But that's what it is. Be as it may. Now I want to go into the etymology of the word tribe.
What happens to men with no tribe. That's why you need brothers, guys who aren't going to lose sleep when you're struggling, but they'll show up, ready to carry the boats with you. Guys who will talk shit with you, who will laugh with you, bleed with you, and tell you when you're being soft, and then help you fix it. Iron sharpens iron, because only a man will understand what another man is up against, what weight he's carrying. Lone wolves don't look badass. They look hungry, desperate, and dead by winter. So yeah, keep bottling it up if you want to, or word.
So this is very true. Now let's go to that word tribe. It says one of the 12 divisions of the ancient Hebrews. It says from Old French tribu. Let's see, one of the 3 political ethnic divisions of the original Roman state. But you see how it goes into first. It says one of the 12 divisions going to the 12 tribes of the Israelites. Just bear with me for a second. Here it says, in reference, look at that, in reference to the 12 tribes of Israel, the oldest sense in English and almost the only one in Middle English. The Latin word is specialized church. Sense, translating Greek phile or the phule. When you go into the word phule, right, does not that go into Cornelius, okay, in the book of Acts, right? It says it right here. Look at that. It says race or tribe of men, and I wasn't even, that's something I didn't see earlier. Body of men united by ties of blood and descent, a clan. See, phule. Wow. But anyway, this. Let's go to the word of Ezekiel 9:4. It says, and the Lord Yahweh said unto them, go to the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. All right? And the reason why I'm reading that is because it goes into the word, the tribe in the Hebrew goes into the word Shabbat. It's Strong's H7626. And Shabbat goes into mark of authority. So that's why I'm reading Ezekiel 9:4 right there, because that mark of authority is going to be, let's see. I always forget what that word means, but it's the Thawa, mark of authority, that Thawa, okay? So that's what that goes into. Now, as far as the word, the body and tribe, I want to go to 1 Corinthians. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 12, 12 to 14. One body and many parts. It says, for as the body is one and hath many members, and all the members of that one body, being many, are one body, so also is Mashiach. For by one Spirit, as are we all baptized into one body, whether we be Jews or Gentiles. When the Gentiles goes into Israelite foreigners, okay. And then let's see, the Israelite foreigners who were Hellenized, okay, that they skip over that from the book of Maccabees. It says, and whether we be bond or free, and have been all made to drink into one Spirit. For the body is not one member, but many. Now, go to Proverbs. Uh, 27 and 17. It says, he talked about iron sharpening irons, right? We all know this. It says, iron sharpeneth iron, so man sharpeneth the countenance of his friends, right? And that word countenance goes into the word panayam, and that is the face, the front, and something to be honorable, okay? But then verse 18, so whoso keepeth the fig tree shall eat the fruit thereof. So he that waiteth on his master shall be honored. In the NLT, it says, as workers who tend a fig tree are allowed to eat the fruit, so workers who protect their employers' interests will be rewarded. All right, so that's going into, going with faith without works is death. Okay, in order to have faith, you got to do something to have it, and that's works. Now, I wanted to finish off in John chapter 15. That's lacking. Verses 13 to 17. It says, greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. It says, ye are my friends, if ye do whatsoever I command you. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth. But I have called you friends, for all things that I have heard of my Father I have made known unto you. Which is a cut to, him being his Father. Okay, the whole Trinity BS. It says, ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, and ordained you that ye should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you. Verse 17, and these things I command you, that ye love one another.
Keep unloading on your wife like she's your therapist. See how that works out. Or you can get around men who get it. Men who will fight for you and fight beside you. That's tribe. And without it, you're just dying slowly. So get out there.
So, with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. Kwam Yasharallah. Shalom, shalom. Abba, Abba.